welcome to another week of Between the Posts. Tommy Javor here with Lachie Gould. Lachie, how was your Saturday?
Always great fun, Tommy. Cannot wait to crack into this one.
Yeah, it's beautifully done. What do we got on today's show, mate?
Yeah, we've got the Div 1 report. We've got the Div 1 women's report as well with Beck and the team of the half year. What a special treat that's going to be.
It is, and thanks to all the coaches for supporting us with that one. All our usual segments. We've got our goals of the week, marks of the week, our Farmers Leap coach of the week. Sponsored by our good friend Adam Jeffries, who you were on commentary with yesterday.
Yeah, Adam's going well. It's always good to go out and give away some of his wines.
And what caught our eye with a very special guest this week coming in for what caught our eye as well, because something special caught her eye. But we'll get to that a bit later on. There's a lot in every episode of Between the Posts, so stay tuned. We'll be back after this sponsorship message. It's BTR excavation to wrap time. Division 1, of course, Lachie, and we start with the Stream Team game that you head up. Let's have a look at that score. Broadview at home, 5-4-34. Not bad kicking. St. Peter's, 7 goals, 24-66. Yuck. But a win's a win in Div 1. You take it every time, don't you?
Yeah, look, you said not bad kicking from the Tigers. Spocko's a totally different story. They were a little bit inaccurate.
Yeah, let's have a look at those goal kickers. A usual story, Michael's having a great season with 3. Whilst for Broadies, it was the Whizburn with 2 and Hames with a couple. Take us through that. And look, I will say this, Broadview again, because I checked the quarter-by-quarter scores of every game. Broadview up by 11 at quarter time. I thought, is this the week? Still up at half time. Then it was 2-10 to nothing in the third quarter, and basically they snuffed the flame.
Yeah, they did. As you said, the Tigers did start better. They were in cruise control heading into quarter time. I spoke with Mike O'Leary after the game, and he said, you know, they were in pretty good control heading into quarter time, the Tigers. But from there, though, the Spockos kind of fired. They cut the margin to 3 at half time. While they were still in front there, Broadview, it was a bit of an arm wrestle in that second quarter, and the Spockos just got on top. And then the inaccuracy came. You know, it was the Tigers though that were forcing Broadview to take those shots 30 to 50 metres out.
Yep.
It wasn't necessarily the Spockos missing their opportunities. It was the Tigers making life difficult for them, and then they continued obviously to miss their opportunities. However, repeat inside 50s continued to weather the Tigers down. 2 goals, 10 to nothing in that third quarter, as you mentioned, and then they ran away pretty comfortably in the end.
Some of the better players for Broadview: Saint, Mackenzie, Hill, and Josh Costa. But mate, it's a Stream Team game, so there's a whole lot of awards. Take us through them, please, mate.
Yeah, Archie's Belgravia, the pub voucher, best on Edward Allen, no surprises there. The Bianco magic moment, Nick Michaels, a goal in the second quarter and a great grab as well. And the Moseley best team man, Rundle, I tell you what, he might be the brick wall, because nothing could get past him yesterday.
Yeah, a very solid defender, and certainly playing his role. Again, we always talk about the midfielders, but without key defensive posts, you can't go all the way in Div 1. He's a very important piece of their jigsaw. And the votes, please, mate?
Yeah, no surprises. 3 votes, Edward Allen. 2, Scotty Bedford. He was absolutely electric, was involved in everything the Spockos did really well. And 1, Nick Michaels kicked 3 goals, was their most damaging forward when the game was there to be won.
Yes, well done. Beautifully done there, mate. Let's have a look now it was at Mitchell Park. It was a Sacred Heart home game. Sacred Heart 11-9-75, Salisbury North 10-8-68. Goal kickers for Sacred Heart, Clayton Simons with 4 and Lowby with 3. Whilst for Salisbury North, it was Costanzo with 3 and Big Russo with 2. The player in footage is that man, number 9, Clayton Simons, and he was outstanding. Took 2 very big pack marks at crucial times in the game, and probably what was the difference. Again, another great game. I've seen every team now, 9 rounds, a great game. So the margins were 7 points, 6 points, 5 points, and then finally 7 points. It ebbed and flowed all day, and these 2 teams really cracked in.
Yeah, they did. 2 teams that are, I'll say it, fighting for a Division 1 premiership, and unfortunately just didn't quite go the way for Salisbury North. But shock, needed to get a win, and they did. Yeah,
in the actual match flow itself, it was going into the three-quarter time, it was Salisbury North by 5 points, but then in the first probably 7 minutes of the quarter, it started with, I believe it was Lowby, kicked a barrel on the run from 50, and that just ignited Sacred Heart, got them up and about, and then they kicked those 4 goals. Salisbury North fighting back at the end, but it was too little, too late, and they just showed all their class. Again, obviously being at Glenelg for many years, I've coached a great deal of their team, and I really enjoyed the encounter. You always want to see young people grow and develop and do well, and to, your Bowen Paynes, Charlie Hildyard, Chester Foster, Hunter Window, all these kids. Watching them become men and play great football, I didn't want to lose yesterday, but I did, and I lost to good kids who are becoming great young men, and Alex Carlotta does a great job with that team.
Yeah, he does, Alex Carlotta. He's their leader both on and off the field, as you expect from a captain coach. But yeah, he's a brilliant person and a brilliant leader. Yeah, and more so yesterday, he really had to step up because Noble didn't play, and Noble's been their best big man this year. And then Ned Brooks went down as well. I had a quick chat with him after the game. I think it was an ankle. Grade 3 boo-boo. I'm not sure if he'll be out for an extended period. Hopefully he's okay, but so big responsibility for Alex, and he took it with aplomb. Again, a lot of really good players from both sides, and really good battles on the field. There was heat in the game. It was a good watch. For Salisbury North, Costanzo, the Fish, Jacob Fisher, Geordie O'Brien as always, Tyrell Hocking, and great to see the return. First game this year, Jake Johansson, former Port Adelaide player, and been at Salisbury North for quite a while now, but did his shoulder in the pre-season, so it was great to see him back. For Sacred Heart, those that didn't get in the votes but did well, Carlotta was good, he battled hard, Ethan Moore and Hunter Window. But the votes, please, mate. Yeah, so Simons ended up with 3, Russo with 2, and Alawi ended up with 1 as well. Again, I did make a big call last week saying St. Peter's will be the ones to play Port District, but what I saw from Sacred Heart yesterday would be no surprise, and you've tipped them to make the grand final, no surprise at all. They're very well balanced across the field, and their midfield, I mean, one name I haven't even mentioned that is Bone Crusher McRae. He's in there, and he's just that inside mid, and if they stay injury free, you never know. They're a very good team. Do you know who won't give me his grand final tip? Baby John Goodman? No, Darcy won't, but Adam Jeffries won't give me his grand final tip. I tried to get it out of him on air yesterday towards the end of the stream. Wouldn't do it. Sitting right on the Farmers Leap fence, the great man Adam Jeffries. I think everyone's probably in agreement. It's Port and someone, and it looks like there's 6 great teams fighting for it. We'll cover that when we get to the ladder. 2 teams that desperately needed to win, and as our studio audience just told us before we went on air, 3 in a row for the Falcons. Former Payneham member in the audience there. It was Payneham 9-9-63, Glenunga horrible kicking again, 6-16-52. No multiple goal kickers for Glenunga. For PNU it was Christansig and Sparknell with 2, and Matt Nunn is back to his best. Yeah, he was absolutely phenomenal yesterday, Matty Nunn, doing what he did for so many years at the Redlegs and doing what he's done for so many years at Payneham Norwood Union as well. Might even feature in our team of the half year. You never know. He might just sneak in. So obviously, it's not obvious to everyone, I guess, being a Payneham life member, I still get the mail, and it was no Wagner, no McKenzie. I was like, no way, they probably won't get the job done. So full credit, they found a way. They led all day by 8, 15, 8 and 9. They won 3 of the 4 quarters, and as we said, 3 in a row. It's a really, and we'll cover it when we get to the ladder, but it's becoming a very interesting battle between PNU, Glenunga and PAC. 1, to avoid relegation, but then 2, only 2 games out of finals now. Yeah, I mean, it's still on for all those teams, really, but someone's going to be unlucky and end up going down with, we think Broadview will end up down in Division 2 as well. I think we know, but yes, without being rude to Broadview. The votes, please. Yeah, Matty Nunn ended up with 3, no surprises there. Houston with 2, and Sparkle ended up with 1 as well. He's done well as playing Resties a couple of weeks ago, came back in the team and managed to get his name in the votes as well. Yep, no, he's doing good things. You stole my notes there, mate. Let's get on. I couldn't find him anywhere. I had that old person thing going. Let's have a look at the next one. And again, Port Districts and Ross Trevor. It was Port Districts 9-17-71, Ross Trevor 8-6-54. Our player in footage is number 25, Cooper Gaffney. I might go home and watch this one myself. I didn't do the votes. Sam Gray with 3, whilst for Rocks McCormack with 4, Lanzoni with 2. I was watching this one closely, but again, as I've said before, at each quarter break, I checked the scores. It was Ross Trevor by 18 points at half time and then kicked the first to be 4 goals up. I was like, the upset's on the cards. It actually came off the back. They kicked 6 goals in a row. They were down. And so when Ross Trevor play that irrepressible band of football, no one, not even Port for a period there, could stop them. Yeah, that was very interesting to watch when, you check in the score at half time, get a little bit of a break on the stream, and you tune in, you go, oh, Ross Trevor up here. Interesting. Can they do it? And they couldn't in the end. But Great signs.
And 7-9 to 2-4 in the second half. They just flicked the switch. Josh Ramsey, not sure what he gives them at half time, but it's something good.
Bit of a rev up.
Yeah, bit of a. Yeah. But he's not a yeller and a screamer. He said there's no point. He doesn't have that kind of group where you could be that old school ranting raving coach. They have conversations, and it's very player driven when you got Scooter Lycett, Sam Gray, and a lot of other experience, like 10-year experienced players out there that have all played together. They're well connected, and they clicked into overdrive. Let's look at those better players for Ross Trevor. It was Lim, Dawson, Matty Dietrich. Was it close?
Nistransky.
Matty D and Swanbury. Whilst for other players who didn't get in the votes for Port were Matty Rose, Kenny Carpeney and Sam McKay. But the votes, please, Jimmy.
Yeah, so it was Tommy who picked the number 3, Cooper Gaffney with 3, Louis Sharrod with 2 and 1 for Di Mateus as well.
Now, I know you like to extract the urine from me about this, but that's 2 best on grounds in a row for this guy. And it's not just me, he can play.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan too. I'm going to level with you.
All right, well done, Coop. All right, next one, we've got Golden Grove and PAC. And Golden Grove, their last month has been super impressive. Golden Grove 14-17-101. PAC 9-16-70. Another one. I was checking the scores, I was like, it's coming, the upset's coming. PAC leading by 16 points at quarter time, 10 points at half time. Then after that, in the second half, it was 10-6 to 3-3, led by Josh Glenn, number 5, and Pascoe with 8 goals.
Yeah, we were also checking this one as well and thinking potentially there was an upset on the card. It would have done me well for my tip after round 1, but I'm prepared to say that's dead in the water.
Yep.
But yeah, no, really, really great effort from Golden Grove. They deserved the win.
Yeah, I'm going to have a chance to have a look at them next week, and yeah, unfortunately they're just finding their best form. So, but good luck to them. Other goal kickers apart from Pascoe with a big bag was Giles with 2 and Verity with 2. Golden Grove. Before the season started, I said they had the best forward line in all of Amateur League, or all of the Adelaide Footy League as we call ourselves now. And I stand by that. It's just it's so hard to stop. For PAC, Garrels with 2 continues his consistent season. Better players not in the votes: Kelly, Garrels, and Clark for PAC. Also, Golden Grove, Ingram, Cav, and the Dodder were in the votes in the better players. But give us the votes, please. Lachie.
Yes, can do. 1 for Hayden Jolly, 2 for Lachie Pascoe, who's having some kind of season, and 3 for Josh Glenn.
Beautifully done there, mate. Let's scoot across now to the next part of the Division 1 analysis. And at the halfway point, bring that ladder up, please, baby John Goodman. And it is really, really interesting reading. I'll get your comments as I've broken it down into 3 sections. Port 8-1, 60%. Spock 7-2, 58.72%. Shock 7-2, 53.5%. They are what I now like to call the big 3.
Yeah, I agree. They're the big 3. Are they? Are 2 of those 3 the teams we're going to see in grand final? Most people would think so, but I wouldn't be shocked if there's someone that makes a run from beyond that point.
Wouldn't be shocked, pardon the pun. All right, then our next group of 3. Again, very interesting reading, and percentage is crucial. I say it all the time, especially in Division 1. Salisbury North 5-4, Golden Grove 5-4, Rocks 5-4. Salisbury North and Golden Grove separated by 0.05%. That's pretty much a goal. So what happens next week in their game will be huge. Those next 3, though, have shown, you see Ross Trevor kick 6 goals in a row against Port District. They are still, their best footy is good enough to absolutely beat anyone.
Yeah, it's a very open race for that top 5. 6 doesn't go into 5. The math doesn't work, so someone's going to be really unlucky to be sitting in the sidelines come September.
Yeah, and they're not actually out of the danger zone just yet, because the next 3 teams are all 3-6. Glenunga 3-6, PNU 3-6, PAC 3-6. It's Glenunga's percentage of 48% that probably has them breathing a sigh of relief, 4% clear of the other 2.
Yeah, I agree. I think again, that relegation fight, we said it during everyone's games, basically, it is going to be really, really tight.
Yep. I go back to, and just an unusual statistical anomaly, I go back to 2014 where Sacred Heart made the Division 2 Division 2 finals with 7 wins. They finished 5th, went all the way through the grand final and was 17 points up at 3/4 time. Paynham got up that day, just quietly. But I've also seen teams relegated with 7 wins. So it is just such an interesting competition, and nobody's safe. Until you've probably got 8 wins, you can't wave bye-bye for short of the relegation zone, and I think maybe you're going to need 10 to play finals.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be that season where you're going to need to make sure that you get the wins that are required from you.
Yep. What we haven't done this year, Lachie, and we'll just do very, very quickly here, is the leading goal kickers. Look, just the top two at this stage, because one is very, very clear. I don't think he's going to get caught. And that man is Lachie Pascoe with 39 goals, having a great season.
Yeah, 39 goals in 9 games. Not a bad little return.
Yeah, and coming up behind him, as a medium or small forward or a tracker or a stalker, there's that many names for these forwards. It's just not like a half-forward flanker anymore. And Hellbout from Salisbury North on 21 coming second, having a great year in the role he plays. So you've seen Ant play this year. I think you might have seen him kick 7. Did you see that game?
I don't think that was me that saw him kick 7, but I tell you what, I've seen him kick a few snags. He's really, really special.
He is. He can pull them out the wazoo, that man. And his dad sits on the outer wing by himself because he gets so nervous. A great man, always says hello to me, and shout out to Mr. Hellbout. All right, sorry they got your name wrong in commentary a few times. All right, now, player of the year time. Woo-hoo! Hasn't this hotted up? I'm going to give the top 5, mate. I've got the top 10 here, and you'll hear these top 10 mentioned in Team of the Half Year. So leading the way is that man from Golden Grove, Mr. Pittman.
Yeah, not a shock there that Pittman's out in front.
No, we've just talked about him, but in second is Lachie Pascoe. In third place, that man from Spock, he's a superstar, Mal Carruthers.
Yeah, he is absolutely brilliant. Was really good again yesterday as well, playing a little bit of a higher role than what he's used to, so that's why he wasn't on the score sheet.
We'd probably give this guy a bit too much airtime. Cooper Gaffney comes in next, so we'll just scoot on from that one. And then coming up closer behind them, we've got Joey Haynes and Will Schmid from PAC, a very interesting top 5. And obviously, they're all locks for Team of the Half Year, which you can see later on in the episode or in other sections of our Facebook page. Let's have a look at this week's game, shall we, Lachie? Because it's getting exciting, and it's back to round 1 from where we started. Back to round 1 when PAC beat the Rams, you got all excited.
Sorry,
the last time I mentioned
still believing on Payne Moore Jr., okay? Let's just hold on.
Hey, Payne have won 3 in a row. PAC and the Rams, it's at Park 9. Who's winning?
I am going to back, I'm back on them. I'm going to back PAC for that one.
I'll take the Rams this week. I was surprised to see them lose last week. And, well, it's fair to say, mate, this is the winner can think about finals. The loser is right entrenched in the relegation zone. Ross Trevor and PNU.
Yeah, I will take Ross Trevor in that one pretty comfortably.
Yeah, interesting game as well. So many of the Ross Trevor and PNU, so many of the PNU lads went to Ross Trevor, and so many Ross Trevor players are ex-PNU juniors, so they know each other really well. I'll take the Rocks. Their consistent form, their form has been pretty consistent all year. Probably match of the round, it's fair to say. St. Peter's and Port District. Could be a grand final preview.
Could be a grand final preview. I'm going to take St. Peter's at home.
That's interesting, isn't it? I'm going to take St. Peter's at home as well. I wouldn't think I'd tip against Port, but they've got their percentage. They're a game clear. They don't have to win. And maybe the wolf climbing the hill will be hungrier than the wolf that sits at the top of it. So interesting that we both took St. Peter's. Salisbury North and Golden Grove.
Yeah, this one's going to be a real tight arm wrestle. We saw the previous game in round 1. The stream team will be there again on Saturday, and I'm thinking, yeah.
Oh, good.
Love to see you around the joint there, Tommy.
Excellent. I'll come in for the luncheon.
We'll do.
As we just get sidetracked. Any danger we can give it to you?
Might just let no. I'm going to go with the Salisbury North in this one here.
Yeah, I'll take Salisbury North as well, but we've got to find a way. I say we. I shouldn't say we. I meant to be impartial. I am impartial enough. Got to stop Glenn. Got to stop Pittman. Got to stop Pascoe. And then there's Slater. And there's Verity. And there's So it's going to be some great matchups. Should be a good game. And Broadies and Sacred Heart.
Yeah, it should be a pretty comfortable win there for Sacred Heart. I'll be shocked if they don't get the job done.
Yeah, these two got quite a good rivalry, and Sacred Heart won't take them lightly, and we'll get the chocolates. Thanks for joining me on the Div 1 report. We'll be back next week with more Division 1 action.
Do you belong in a role that drives you? In a community that makes you proud? In a team that brings out your best? You belong in blue. Apply for a career with South Australia Police.
Well, it's time for your favourite part of the show, the Women's Wrap. Let's start with everything that happened in the Division 1 BTR excavations competition. As usual, I am of course wearing my best custom by ORTC gear because, look good, feel good, good show. But let's get straight into the footy. And we'll start with Goodwood and Payneham, who faced off at Goodwood. And Payneham made it 2 from 2 versus the Saints for the year with a 40-point win. Payneham 8-6-54 to Goodwood 2-2-14. And Payneham, they started strong and were up 4-2-26 to 2 points for Goodwood at half-time. Payneham kicked 2 more goals in the third, holding Goodwood to 1, and then finished off with 1 goal too in the last to Goodwood's 1 goal. And Payneham, they were never in any danger here in this game. They led all day and just got the job done. Sarah Kennedy, she was named best on for Payneham. Also a strong performance by Chloe Samuel with 2 goals and amongst the best. She is such a consistent performer for this Payneham team. Goodwood's goals, well, they came through Sophie MacArthur and Olivia McAvoy. Bella Foster was named best on. Now Goodwood, I think they can still challenge for the top 4 if they really want it and start playing their best footy, but there is a lot of hard work ahead of them. And Payneham, well, I'm running out of ways to say undefeated, unbeaten, haven't dropped a game, but they moved to 9-0 and still awaiting a real challenge in the Div 1 comp this year. And they are the clear ladder leaders, team to beat, etc., etc. There's not many other ways I can say it, but Payneham, they are the team right now in Div 1. Now moving on to what was a bit of a demolition at Shark Park. Henley, 20 goals, 15, 135, defeated Golden Grove, no score. The Sharks have been absolutely ruthless, much like a shark attack, I must say. Now the highlight for me, 10 individual goal scorers, so they really shared the love amongst the team, highlighted by 3 goal hauls from Hayley Conlon, Ellie Fixter and Shannon Murphy. And in what I think is a good sign, just the 1 goal to leading kicker Tegan Dunbar. Why would I say it's a good sign? Well, it shows that they have other options in front of goal. They've got other avenues to score, and they're not just relying on one person to kick all of their goals. So they've got plenty of ways to score. It doesn't have to be all about Tegan every week. So they've got plenty of girls that can put them through the big sticks. And their best player for the day overall was Hayley Conlon. Now, in a bit of a rough afternoon for Golden Grove, their best performers were Jessica Doby, Emma Lovell and Nevaeh Jolly. Henley, well, I feel like they're really stamping their authority on Division 1 right now. They hold the highest percentage and are a win clear in second position now on the ladder. It feels like they're just getting ready to come into finals and really get things going. Now moving on to our 3rd versus 4th clash coming into this match. Happy Valley being 3rd before this game and Morphy's 4th. Well, we've had a bit of an old switcheroo here because Morphy's got the win and 3rd spot with a commanding 74-point win. Morphettville Park 12-17-89 defeated Happy Valley 2-3-15. And it's Morphettville, I think, doing what they do best, taking down teams on their way to the finals. Now, they held Happy Valley scoreless in the first and also the 3rd quarter as well as a huge 5-goal last term. So they just, were really restricting Happy Valley and then came home really strong in the last quarter. Now they were once again led on the scoreboard by veteran Caitlin Swanson with 5 goals. She was also backed up by 7 teammates who kicked goals as well. Now Caitlin's goals led her to a best on ground performance for the Roos. So that says to me that she was doing plenty in that forward line when not kicking goals. So, setting up teammates and doing a lot down there as well. Now for me, this is the Roos at their absolute best, just putting away teams that are threatening them on the ladder and doing it in style. As I said, they move themselves into 3rd position on the ladder and loom as a very real and very serious threat come finals. Honestly, I would start being a little bit afraid of Morphies and where they're going at the moment. For Happy Valley, things really haven't gone their way in the last few weeks. This becomes their 3rd loss in a row. Now, we know they're a strong team full of a lot of local talent, and they started their season, if you remember, with 3 really strong wins. So I'm sure they can get back to their best in coming weeks. And, it's not all that bad. They still sit in 4th position on the ladder, so absolutely still there, ready to compete for finals. Now, our last match of the round in Division 1, Broadview and Hectorville. And for me, there was a little bit of an upset in this one. Saturday night footy at Broadview, where Broadview took on Hectorville and they got the win. Now, this is Broadview's third win of the season. Broadview 7-7-49 defeated Hectorville 1-3-9. So a really strong 40-point win. And it feels like a little bit of a flash of the 2024 Broadview, coming back into the frame. So Broadview, they kicked the first 4 goals of the game in that first term and just came out absolutely firing. And with that start, they really had the game wrapped up pretty early and also managed to finish on their second highest score for the season. Nikki Cullen led the way for the Tigers with 3 goals. Remy Grant also kicked 2, and Maddie Hayden and Amy Jones also scored. Amy Jones, the captain, great leader of this team, she was their best on ground, so really putting her best foot forward for the Tigers. Hectorville, well, their goal came through Liana Riccici, and best on was Macy Philpott. Now, as I said, a little bit of an unexpected result in this one for me. Hectorville had really been pushing for that top 4 position. Though I have previously spoken of all the talent that there is around Broadview, and and I think that that's still there and they can still play some really great footy, and I think that's, really come to the front in this game. So, they've got back to their best footy. It's good to see Broadview, trying to finish their season really strong. So having a quick look at the ladder, that top 4 is now Payneham on top, Henley, Morfettville Park and Happy Valley. So they're your teams at the moment that will be playing finals. But of course, there are many changes that could happen in the coming weeks. Speaking of that, next week in Division 1, we've got Payneham Broadview facing off Hectorville and Henley, Golden Grove and Morfettville Park. And the one to watch for me, Happy Valley and Goodwood. As I said, Happy Valley holding on to that top 4 position, and Goodwood, I've talked about, turning points in the season for them. This is the time where they really need to set themselves up and decide if they want to push for that top 4. So that's the one I'm going to be keeping an eye on for next week. But of course, plenty of footy to go around. And speaking of that, let's do a little bit of an around the grounds. Now, we'll have a look at Division 2, and we've got to check in on the girls at Anglevale, and they've done it again. They are still undefeated with another win this weekend over Hope Valley. The question is, can anyone stop them? Also in Division 2, a 90-point win to Tea Tree Gully saw a 5-goal haul to Indiana Nelson. So well done on that, Indiana Nelson. But Div 2, Anglevale looking very scary for me. Now we move on to Division 4, our other undefeated team, Modbury, and they have just carried on their winning ways, now sitting 9-0 with another win this weekend over Loretto. Now, we know it's all happening in Division 6. The Goal Fest, they're coming from absolutely everywhere, and we of course have to check in on the Seaton Ramblers. And you guessed it, Grace Grierson is at it again. 9 goals this weekend, and this is the second time she has kicked 9 goals in a match this season. Just absolutely amazing stuff. She is now on 42 goals for the season in 7 matches. She's absolutely killing it up forward. And not to be outdone, Ingle Farms' Lani Collins also put on a show, kicking 9 goals as well. Awesome job. That was her highest individual goal score for the year, and that takes her to 29 for the season. So there's some crazy stuff happening in Division 6, the goals coming from everywhere. So the girls down there, they're just killing it, and we love it. Well, thanks for tuning in to the Women's Wrap. Hope you've enjoyed everything we've talked about today. As I said, if you see something that's going on in the Adelaide Footy League women's competition that you want me to talk about, let me know. But I'll see you next week.
It's time for our Farmers Leap Coach of the Week, and it comes from my Division 1, so I get to choose it this time. And it's a pretty easy selection for me, a man that's taken his team from 8th to 2nd, the St. Peter's leader, Mike O'Leary. He has been fantastic. As a matter of fact, they sit 7-2. Both games that they have been defeated in, they have lost on the final kick of the day. They could almost be 9-0. A fantastic effort from a fantastic guy. He is indeed our Farmers Leap Coach of the Week. Tommy Javoy here, and it is time for the Adelaide Footy League Team of the Half Year. A huge thank you to all the coaches who gave me their nominations for Team of the Year. Obviously, a lot of on-ballers are nominated, so I've tried not to have 21 sentiment in the team, and I've tried to name a legitimate football team filled with stars. This time last year, looking at last year's Team of the Half Year, 3 of those players have gone on to play league footy on the weekend. So we'll start in the forward pocket with the first player nominated by Sacred Heart, and it's Ben Moroney. Ben's been outstanding, he's been consistent, he's having quite a good year. Moving across to full forward, and there can be only one man, Lachie Pascoe. He leads the league with 39 goals. He's having an outstanding season and a very rich vein of form in the last month. In the other forward pocket, it's that sensation from Salisbury North, Ant Hellebauer. He's kicked 21 goals. When he bobs up, he is extremely dangerous. With lightning quick speed and silky skills, he can kick a goal from anywhere. Let's move across to the half forwards now. And our first nomination from St. Peter's is Ty Bedford. Having watched Ty play firsthand, he is silky skilled. He's often the connection piece when transitioning the ball from defence to attack, and he is an absolute weapon for St. Peter's. Our centre half forward is from the Ross Trevor Old Collegians. It is Finn Wakeland. Ross Trevor had 6 players who are all very, very close. Their top end is super, but Finn has made his way into the team with some outstanding performance and strong polling in our High Five e-bikes Player of the Year. On the other half forward flank from Sacred Heart, it is Hunter Window. Hunter is an outstanding on-baller, changing up forward, coming off of a Glenelg Premiership last year. He's an absolute weapon for Sacred Heart. Let's have a look at the centre line now, and on the first wing, we've got Cooper O'Leary. By far, Broadview's best player this year. He's a running machine when he has ball in hand. Broadview are at their most dangerous. In the centre, that man from PNU, superstar Matty Nunn. The former Nord captain over the last month is really starting to find his best form, and that's coincided with Payneham winning 3 games on the trot. And on the other wing, it's Ross Trevor on-baller James Wharton. His ability to move through the contest and take some outside ball makes him a damaging weapon and a threat to every team that he plays against. On the half-back line, we'll start with, from Glenunga, their first representative, Tommy Carlovasitis. Tommy's had a very consistent season working off of half-back. He's probably been the best defender for Glenunga this season, and congratulations on his first selection in one of these teams. At centre half-back has been super intercept marker from PAC, Will Schmidt. He's their leading vote getter this year, and he is a rock in defence for the Reds. And on the other half-back flank, he was $1 to make this team. Cooper Gaffney, back-to-back best on grounds in the last 2 weeks, amassing around about 75 possessions. He's an absolute superstar. He's an architect with that left foot and sets up much of Port District's forward forays. And for the back line, in one back pocket, we've got Joey Haynes. A man that needs no introduction, a beautiful long right leg he has, often launching the ball 60 metres, taking the kick-outs as well for Port Districts. He is a weapon working from the back pocket. At fullback, it's that man. He's bald, he's rugged, he's aggressive. It's Callum Hay from Salisbury North. Having probably his best season of his career, he's been outstanding. His work off of the full-back line has been second to none in Division 1. And in the other back pocket is the ever-reliable, super-talented Aidan Thatcher. He's one of the first players picked at Golden Grove. You can rely on Aidan Thatcher to do his job every single week. And let's have a look at that midfield now, and isn't there some talent in here? First ruck, a man that needs no introduction, it's big Scooter Lysette. This is not picked on name. Scoot has been fantastic, going forward to kick goals and being very, very hard to stop in ruck. He's having an outstanding year. Our other on-ballers are from St. Peter's, Mal Carruthers. Currently sitting in the top 3 for our Player of the Year award, Mal has been simply outstanding. He's caught the commentators' eyes, he's super talented and a worthy recipient on the ball. And he is, of course, being headed by Jake Pittman, who leads all comers in our Player of the Year voting. He's having a super consistent year. He gets votes just for waking up out of bed. That's how good he is. You'd love to have Jake Pittman in your side. And to the interchange bench, I have selected an interchange bench of 5 players because it was just too hard to leave any of these players out. It is Team of the Half Year. So firstly, from Sacred Heart, Bradley Noble. Again, he's been the dominant ruck for the team and has been a large reason why they've been so successful this year. He's having his career best year. Next, from Glenunga Football Club, probably their best player this year has been Declan Fay. Super consistent, this former North Adelaide star has been very good in all games. He's consistent, you can always bank on him for getting 25 touches. Next up from Ross Trevor, Xavier Transfer. The ball in the midfield with the big thick hips. He wins the inside ball and is a big reason why Ross Trevor are winning so many games. Next up is Captain Courageous from Salisbury North, Geordie O'Brien. Arguably the best defensive midfielder in the competition. You can never miss Geordie laying a big smother or a block or tackle. He'd have 10 tackles a week, an outstanding leader of the Hawks. And last but not least, from St. Peter's, Henry Nelligan. A worthy recipient. Mike O'Leary was keen to see him in this team. He's having a great year and thoroughly deserves to be there. Just looking at the breakup of the team now, I'm not going to be naming a coach of the half year. We'll wait till the end of the year for that. But the top 6 teams are all being so even and beating each other this year. All have 3 recipients, which I think is really important. No team having more than 3 recipients, and every single team in Division 1 getting someone nominated in Team of the Year. Obviously, these things create a lot of conversation, a lot of argument. I'm sure I'll get tagged with the old, you don't have to be dead to be stiff with someone named. There's plenty of good footballers. I said it last year, I'll say it next year. If you want to be in the Team of the Year, it's pretty simple. Just be better. Thanks for joining us with this Adelaide Footy League special, Team of the Half Year. It's always good fun. Good luck to all footballers for the rest of the year. And welcome to What Caught Our Eye. Didn't want it. Okay, now, interesting, only 2 of us on What Caught Our Eye today, so we've got a chance to dive a bit deeper. And our wonderful producer there, Darcy, the man I call Baby John Goodman, has sent us a ton of stats as well. So a lot of stuff caught all our eyes, and you can start it off in 7, mate.
Yeah, so Flinders Uni with a minor upset against Smithfield, which lifted them off the bottom of the ladder. So that's an interesting little catch there. Flinders Uni, Smithfield now back on the bottom.
Yes, I was at Mitchell Park yesterday, which meant they were away. They were at Hackham, and it was Hackham 9-11-65. Mitchell Park 14-1. 85, so 5 less scoring shots, but got the Chocolates by 20 points, and it was 5 straight goals in the last quarter to no score, so they came from behind. A huge win there for Mitchell Park, and those boys know how to party. Yeah, Hackham, things have gone the wrong way since Blake parted ways with them. Let's have a look at Div 6, mate.
Yeah, this one, the Fitzroy won by 113 points. That's a big win, as I believe that puts them top of the ladder, and Wheatra at 50 goals for the season.
Yes, right on course to get that 100, which you said he wouldn't get. Alex and I thinks he will.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I'm gonna go back the other way. I'm not joining you guys.
Gee, you jump off Johnny. Interesting to note, OSB in the 5 for the first time this year. Of course, the old club of our good friend Darcy. But what really catches my eye, 1 game between 2nd and 7th. That's huge. In the Battle of the Bulldogs, it was Ingle Farm, probably you call it an upset, over Rosewater. But the one, and I tipped this one last week, it was 8th place Houghton taking on 3rd place Blackfriars. Now, you were at a Div 1 game on the weekend where the total match points was 100. Total match points in this one was 262 points as Houghton got up by 40 points in a high-scoring affair. Well done. Best on ground was Harlan for the Raiders. So a huge win for them, puts them right back in business.
Yeah, 262 points. You don't see that too often, no matter what division you're in or even what league you're in.
Great for the spectators, great for footy. What do you got in Div 5, mate?
Div 5, Marion have only conceded 408 points for the season. That's an average of 45.4 points a game. Very hard to lose if you're doing that.
Yep, their defence is good, their attack is good. But for me, it's the Greenacres have just got the speed wobbles when they were all the rage. It was Paraka who beat them by 2 points. It was a 7-goal last quarter, though, that got the job done. Jack Jarrett kicking 5 was best on ground. So interestingly enough, just a bit of a pattern here. 2 losses in a row for the Dragons, but 2 wins in a row at the other end for Woody South, who were winless after 7. And it was, in their case, it was a 7-goal first quarter. So 7-goal quarters will certainly get the job done. And best on ground, I like this one, Calvin Chuck Norris. So well done to the Cats. A good win there for Woody South. Good to see him fighting back.
Yeah, absolutely. Great job there for Woody South. A late premiership charge.
Wouldn't go that far, but yeah. Div 4, please, mate.
Div 4, Morphettville Park beat Kenilworth to go top. 110-point winners in that one, and no one got within 4 goals of the opposition in terms of win-losses.
Yeah, closest game being 35 points, exactly stole my thunder. And that game was Mitcham 18, 9-1-17, CBC 13, 10, 88. Very, very much one-sided games, you suggest. However, this one wasn't actually as one-sided as you think, because Mitchell were down at three-quarter time. That was 9 goals 4 to 2 goals 1 in the final quarter. Maxwell Smythe, agent 86, with 8 goals. Spinello, best on ground. Mitchell just flicked the switch as good teams can do. And one that snuck under the radar for me, I should have given him more airtime, Luke Paparella had kicked 6 on the weekend. 48 for the year. Actually, the second highest goal scorer across all divisions.
Yeah, of course, Leach was top, but not bad. Couple goals behind. Could be a very interesting watch to see how those guys go against each other in the race for the overall winner.
Yeah, and that was, of course, in the 75-point demolition of the Hectorville Hounds. Division 3, please, Jimmy.
Yeah, so I had to break out the calculator for this one. So Hope Valley are the only team to concede over 800 points. I didn't have to break out the calculator. This is where it gets interesting. They've conceded 1,184 points, averaging 129.3 a match. The next worst is Seaton, which average 86.6 a game.
Oh, it's very interesting mathematical anomaly there, my friend. Yeah, it's a tough year for Hope Valley. You just hope they can find a way. We've only got not too many teams that haven't won a game in a division this year, so we wish them all the best. Hopefully they can get on the winners list at some point. And this one's a big result here. Edwardstown 5-12-42, Scotch 7-8-50. Ford Spriggs was the star, but why has that one caught my eye? Because for the first time since Eve ate the apple off the tree, Scotch are out the relegation zone. They haven't been there all year, so they're out the relegation zone, and not good news for Seaton. But well done to Scotchies. They move up to 8th spot, and I'm sure they'll want to stay there or move even higher.
Yeah, certainly they can start to look forward now, not back. But I mean, they've still got a lot of work to do if they want to stay out of the relegation zone permanently.
Give us Div 2, please, Lachie.
Yeah, so Atherton and Tea Tree Gully are 2 wins clear in first and second. Probably means they're locks almost to head into the Division 1 competition next year. Henley and Goodwood Saints have 6 wins, which are the next best, and every winning team kicked 100 plus on the weekend too.
And looking at the way they're going, and we've seen this, we've discussed these patterns before, you suggest they won't just go into Div 1, but they'll go in, they'll be very, very competitive, like Salisbury North and Ross Trevor have done, and teams before that. Glenunga a few years ago, Sacred Heart, they've all come up ready to go. So it's an interesting one that. They do look like the 2 best teams to me. Hanley's still around the mark though. What caught my eye in Div 2 is it was a gross weekend of results. The closest being a 36-point win, and that was Henley defeating Brighton away. It was Henley who led at 46 points at half-time though, so it was pretty much all done and dusted then. But one thing that needs to have caught everyone, they would have been going off like a frog in a sock. Lockley's first win of the year, a win over Uni by 63 points. Harron, the big fella at full forward, kicking 4, and Cockrum was best on ground. So well done to the Demons. Always good to get that first win, isn't it?
Yeah, well, they were in a spot of bother, a spot of hell almost, if you will, and now finally they do get that first win, tasting success.
The Demons were in hell. Thank you, Lockie. I'll do the comedy around here, mate.
Sorry.
And what about Division 1 for you, mate?
Yeah, Division 1, Broadview are 0-9, Port District 8-1. But if you want to see all the information, you've got to check out the Division 1 report.
Of course you do. Yeah, interesting for me, Ross Trevor, who I rate as one of the real contenders, 5-4, 4 goals up against Port District, got done. They sit outside the 5. It's crazy a team that's that good, playing that well, can be outside the 5. So that's what caught my eye and our eye in Division 1. Oh,
Can I tell you what caught our eye?
Absolutely.
We were on Channel 9 News.
Channel 9 News?
We ate sausages and donuts.
Of course you did, because this week Tom Wren and the team from Channel 9 were out at the Salisbury North Footy Club, and it's the first time I've ever been involved in one of those nights. Well done to the league. They are sensational. Daddy didn't have 5 sausages, did he?
Yes,
Sure did. Police Credit Union, we thank you. Bianco with a raffle, fantastic. Of course, Tommy Wren himself. Villies supplied all the donuts. SA Gourmet Meats, Born to Build SA. It's a fantastic night. When they are at your club, make sure you check it out. Certainly caught my eye and it was a lot of fun. We're back next week with more What Caught Our Eye. Between the Posts fans, who doesn't love a good hanger? Let's have a look at this week's candidates.
Carlotto has the runner and Glius ignores him. Instead centers the ball, goes long inside 50. They fly! Centers the ball, goes long inside 50. They fly!
Intercept mark taken in the end as Glenn been very lively early for Golden Grove. Sees something he likes, gets it straight out to Pittman, the captain. Pittman launches it in. The lead came forward and juggling it into his arms. That was some great forward movement, and I thought he'd almost lost the ball there in the end. Pittman launches it in. The lead came forward and juggling it into his arms.
Welcome back to Between the Posts. It's one of your favourite segments, no doubt. It's time for the goals of the week.
The umpire gets out of there quickly because West comes charging through, takes the whole pack out, round the corner. Oh, don't tell me again. Charging through, takes the whole pack out, round the corner. Oh.
And it's time for the last word, brought to you by Sapol. And, well, my last word is it's been a salubrious show, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely has been. You worked it in there.
I knew I would. Filled with zest and joy. Let's have a look at our regular part. Maybe John Goodman liked that one. Let's have a look at our regular thing we do, the milestones, mini-me's and marriages. And just a couple of milestones this week, mate.
Yeah, so we're in the BTR Excavations Division 1 with Josh Ingram at Golden Grove at 200 games for him. So a massive congratulations to Josh and all his teammates on their big win and him for 200 games.
Yeah, nice way to celebrate a milestone. And for Teacher Gully, Elliot Brogden played his 100th game on the weekend. Of course, we'd love to celebrate your milestones on the show. It's really simple. Just send them in to Darcy at Filming Footy, and Darcy will throw that address up for us, and you can get them in, and we'll mention you, and maybe even get a little photo up of you So we love to see those milestones. Where are you this week, mate? What's the stream team game of the round?
Yeah, we're at Salisbury North taking on Golden Grove. We did the home fixture. We're going to do the reverse fixture. We're looking forward to it.
Two teams that match up well. The two Lukes who know each other really well, the coaches, and officially on air, I'm inviting you into the President's Luncheon at halftime. So come on in for the best feed, guaranteed. That's how they got me the club. They just feed me.
Oh, so. that's how they did it.
No, I love it there. No, fantastic, Lachie. Thanks to all our great viewers and all our great sponsors. Take us home, please, mate.
Well, that wraps us up from Between the Posts, but make sure you tune in next week for even more Between the Posts.